Good evening. I'm Darren Sayre, the Council President, and on behalf of the City Council, I welcome all of you to the City Council chambers tonight for Tom McGee's State of the City address. It's the first time in the history of the city that the mayor has come to address the city from the council chambers to give the city address. Everyone please rise as the Lynn English High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC color prepares to advance the colors.
Right rifle. Oh, hey.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms.
I'd like to welcome Mitch
Aye.
Ramos, World War II POW, past commander of the Polish-American Legion, veteran to lead. I'm sorry, I did that already. But here he is right here, World War II veteran. Pledge of allegiance.
Do it now?
Nope, we already did it, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of Lynn's finest. Thank you. I'd like to welcome the vocal quartet from Lynn English High School chorus under the direction of Horeg Ebenezer to perform the Star Spangled Banner.
Trees and arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. It is with my distinct honor to introduce the 58th Mayor of the City of Lynn, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Thank you very much, Darren. It's great to be here with all of you tonight. And again, I want to say thank you to World War II veteran Mitch Ramonis for joining us here tonight. He's what's best about Lynn and what's best about our country. And I want to thank you for being here, Mitch, and for your service to our country. Thank you so much. And And also like to thank the vocal quartet from Lynn English. They were pretty amazing, and I want to thank them for starting this off with a wonderful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And I'd also like to thank the Marine Corps Junior ROTC, led by Sergeant Major Ken Oswald, for also being here tonight at tonight's ceremony. Thank you very much. You did a great job. And before I get started, I'd like to thank a number of people, particularly starting off with my family. My wife Maria, my sister Colleen, and my mother-in-law Barbara are here, and I want to thank them for being here. As my colleagues on the council and the school committee understand, it's really a tough job to do without having your family supporting you. So thank you for being here. And I think we're live on Facebook, so my daughter is watching at Villanova. Today is my twins' 21st birthday, so they're not here with us today, but I think they're enjoying a big day in their lives. So I want to send a shout out to them as well. And I'd also thank some of the elected officials that are here. Senator Brendan Crichton is here, Representative Laurie Ehrlich, Representative Dan Cahill, Representative Donna Wong and Peter Capano, Kate Mashi from Senator Markey's office, Nairobi Gabrielle from Senator Warren's office, and I really want to thank the members of the City Council for allowing me to be here tonight, and as well as my colleagues on the school committee. Thank you all for being here tonight and joining in this State of the City speech. Thank you all very much. I'd like to start off with especially thanking our dedicated city employees, the men and women who continue to work hard to ensure our residents get the services they need and deserve. Despite the constraints that come with financial struggles we've been facing, thank you for your hard work and commitment and the job that you continue to do to represent and support the citizens in the City of Lynn. A little over 2 years ago, I opened the book to write a new chapter in my commitment to our city. I decided to run for mayor. In the months and weeks that followed my decision, I talked with residents about a shared vision for the city we all believe in. Over the course of 2017, I was reaffirmed in my beliefs about Lynn. We are a city of promise and opportunity. We are a city with rich and vibrant history. We are a city made stronger because of our diversity and our people. And more than anything else, Lynn is a city worth believing in. Since my swearing in last year as your mayor, I am confident than ever in those beliefs. Working with residents across the city from Linfield Street to Broad Street to Walnut Street, I see a community that comes together and works to improve our city for everyone. And because of that, the state of our city is strong. Frederick Douglass, who for a period of time called Lynn home, once said, "We have to do with the past only as we can make it useful to the present and the future." As we continue to find ways out of our financial struggles we face, this quote rings true. While I have no doubt our city is strong, we are not without our challenges. I knew this coming into office, and I am working every day to learn from our past and find solutions to guide Lynn onto a path that will make us stronger today and for generations to come. Right from the start, we worked with the City Council. They've worked closely with me. I want to thank them for that, and our state counterparts in the legislative delegation to make difficult decisions that would put our city on a more solid financial footing. We petitioned the state legislature for the ability to borrow $14 million. It's $9.5 million we used to balance our FY18 budget, $4.5 million for our fiscal year budget in 2019. And as all of us here know, and particularly the elected officials, my colleagues in city government, with that infusion of money, we are still facing an uphill battle to get a balanced budget for the upcoming fiscal year of 2020. We are and will continue to be and to look for ways to reduce costs and raise revenue to help guide the city out of our current financial state. In September, we hired Michael Bertino as the city's full-time chief financial officer. And together we have been meeting with department heads to find the balance of providing the levels of services residents deserve while finding ways to cut costs. While we all wish there was an easy fix for the dire financial strait Lynn is facing, these challenges will not be solved overnight. In order to find ways to run Lynn more efficiently, to live within our means, to balance our budget, and at the same time ensure that City Hall is providing necessary services to the residents and businesses in Lynn, I am committed to making difficult decisions that are in the best interests of our city, because I am confident that our city, the city we all believe in, will come out on the other side of this challenging time stronger than we have ever seen. Our city is strong because of the commitment we have made to economic development. My administration, working with former Secretary of Housing and Economic Development Jay Ash and Governor Baker, submitted a proposal and subsequently received approval for 4 areas in Lynn to be designated as opportunity zones. The federal program, set up through the U.S. Treasury Department, offers a federal tax incentive for developers who reinvest unrealized capital gains into opportunity funds, which are specialized vehicles dedicated to investing in areas of economic need called opportunity zones. Even outside of these designated areas, I view our entire city as an opportunity zone. We are open to find development that will strengthen our city and create a future where people can live in housing they can afford, work in jobs that pay a living wage in 21st century industries, and raise their families in a community that is defined by its diversity, inclusiveness, and opportunity for all. A variety of housing options are beginning to advance. The historic 10-story mixed-use development on Monroe Street is already under construction, and the North Harbor site will break ground this spring. With the Minot Street project, affordable houses will be built by the Neighborhood Development Associates, where vacant GE lots have laid dormant, breathing new life into West Lynn. The Lynn Armory will be transformed into mixed-income housing our veterans can afford. The Lower Washington Street Gateway North project was 100% union-built, mixed-income development that brought more affordable housing options for working families in Lynn. All of these projects add to the strength of our city, because they will allow people at all stages of their lives to call Lynn home. We have seen growth at established businesses, including the announcement just last week that the General Electric's Aviation's Riverworks plant in Lynn was awarded a $517 million contract to build engines for U.S. Army helicopters. This will result in the addition of approximately 100 new living wage job opportunities in our city. This past year, we also welcomed new business to our downtown, adding to the growing a number of staple restaurants. One Mighty Mill, Luna Sweets, Brew on the Grid, and Revolution Pie and Pine opened. Not only do they enhance the heart of our city, they underscore the potential that people see in Lynn. When Patty Francis, owner of Luna Sweets, decided to open her store, she invested in what our city has to offer both today and tomorrow. Patty's family immigrated from the Dominican Republic and found a home in Lynn. Graduating from Lynn English and Salem State University, she came back to the roots her family put down here and has turned a dream into a reality, even competing on Bake It Like Buddy on the Discovery Family Channel with the cake boss, Buddy Valestro. And this is just one example of the amazing people who bring our city together. There is substantial progress, however, we cannot be complacent. We need to be prepared for the next big opportunity. Over the past year, I've been working with community leaders, residents, business people, city council, school committee, and experts from around the country to ensure we are ready. We're in the process of updating our waterfront master plan, working with MIT's Department of Urban Planning on a land use study for West Lynn along the Saugus River and part of the Western Ave corridor, and establishing an open space master plan for our waterfront. The City of Lynn was awarded a municipal vulnerability preparedness grant from the state to develop an action plan to increase our resilience against the hazards of extreme weather and climate change. Through the project, we will identify our strengths and vulnerabilities, determine which community features are at risk, and develop a list of priority actions to address these concerns. And while development is important to the future of our city, it is equally critical that we don't lose sight of this being our home. We are working on making Lynn stronger by connecting our city through improved walkability and community-centered initiatives, resulting in an enhanced quality of life for everyone. We are doing this through projects such as the Northern Strand Community Path, a bike and pedestrian path that runs along the former MBTA rail. The path will connect from the Saugus border in our West Lynn neighborhood through the downtown to our waterfront. and will lead into neighboring communities as far as Everett, with the future expansion in Somerville of the pedestrian and bike bridge over to Assembly Square. Eventually, we'll be able to connect to Somerville and beyond. Thanks to the technical assistance awarded by the Department of Energy and Environmental Affairs, we're in the process of receiving our Green Communities designation by the state and converting all street lights into LED lights, which will render substantial cost and energy savings, as well as improve the safety of our neighborhoods. Last year, I was chosen as one of 6 mayors from across the country to participate in the Mayor's Institute on City Design in Anchorage, Alaska. The case study I chose to present was reimagining the Lynn Way as a connection, not a barrier, between our waterfront and the rest of the city. National planning experts agreed this was a challenge contributing to the decades of stifled development of our waterfront and provided feedback on ways we can ensure success in connecting these areas. A main part of that discussion was how we can encourage development that knits the city together, the neighborhoods with the waterfront. Our city is strong because we are continuing to build upon the recent momentum of our rich history and foundation of arts and culture here in Lynn. Lynn has been selected as one of 6 cities to participate in the Cultural Compact pilot program through the Massachusetts Cultural Council. As part of the program, we are extending the map of our downtown Lynn Cultural District, which will allow us to begin focusing on revitalizing several of our historic buildings. And I know this is definitely something that the council and the council president feel strongly about. Those buildings include the Lynn Arts Building, Grand Army of the Republic Building and Museum, and the Lynn Public Library. These buildings tell important stories about our history, and we must ensure that they're a part of our future. This past summer, we had our 2nd annual Beyond Walls Mural Festival, which teamed up with the current Downtown Lynn Cultural District's annual Rock the Block event. It was a great success, attracting both residents and visitors to our downtown and enhancing the area with over 50 new public art murals. The Lynn Auditorium continues to be an entertainment destination for people near and far. In fact, Jamie Marsh told me the other night that the movie we had, Harold and Maude, people had come down from Concord, New Hampshire to share in our venue and see a movie they were excited to see. In an effort to take further advantage of this fantastic venue, again related to movies, we began showing movies in the auditorium. I'm pleased with the success we have seen with movies we have shown thus far, and I'm excited to continue the program this year and beyond. As new businesses continue to open, as developments continue to break ground, and new proposals and ideas become a reality, we will continue to enhance the experience for all people who live, work, or visit a reinvigorated Lynn. Our city is strong because we are taking action to invest in our infrastructure and fighting for better public transportation options. I believe that we cannot truly succeed without robust, reliable public transportation options. I am hopeful that the steps the state has taken this fall, including issuing a request for proposals for the Lynn Action Transit Plan, and that is going forward with consultants who will be chosen soon to help us develop our transportation plan in this city, that and other actions will bring us closer to a Blue Line expansion to Lynn, a robust regional rail system that works for our city and region, reestablishing ferry service to Boston and beyond, and overall enhancing the quality, affordability, capacity, and reliability of public transportation to our city. We are working on improving the flow of traffic in our city. Construction has begun on 3 projects funded through the State Mass Works program that will significantly improve traffic flow and safety of all road uses. The Federal and Boston Street roundabout, the reconfiguration of the Neptune Boulevard from Blossom Street to Wheeler and Pleasant Streets as part of the new YMCA being built there, and the connection from the North Harbor site development across from the Lynn Way, which will break ground this year, to Market Street. We continue to look for outside-the-box funding ideas to redesign some of our major streets and intersections to make them easier to travel and ease congestion. We received preliminary approval from the state's Metropolitan Planning Organization that 3 projects that we had applied for are eligible for $59 million in federal highway funding. These projects include the complete reconstruction of Western Avenue from the Buchanan Bridge to Eastern Avenue, and up at Eastern Avenue, all the way to Market Square. reconstruction of Essex Street from Eastern Avenue to Rockaway Street and Joy Streets, and a traffic and safety improvements on Broadway, Euclid Avenue, and Jenna Street. Again, $59 million, pretty exciting. We'll continue to move forward on that process. These intersections and stretches of roadway have been neglected for far too long, and receiving the state and federal funding to make the improvements would be transformative for the respective neighborhoods that are impacting and for the city at large. Utilizing every outlet possible, harnessing our strengths, and incorporating the feedback we continue to receive through these various public processes that touch all aspects of the city gives us the potential to not only redefine, but reconnect our city so that everyone, current and new residents, visitors and businesses, come together as one, creating a strong foundation for today and for future generations. As the gateway to the North Shore, regional collaboration is key. While it may be cliche, it is true that a rising tide lifts all boats. And by working closely together with regional leaders, mayors, and town managers through conveners such as the North Shore Alliance for Economic Development, the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, the North Shore and Lynn Area Chambers of Commerce, the North Shore Latino Business Association, the Essex County Community Foundation, the North Shore Workforce Investment Board, and the Mass Municipal Association on issues we all face together, like housing, education, transportation, job creation, climate change, and economic development, we create a strong coalition to find the best solutions for our common problems. We are strong because of our commitment to our children and their future. Brown, Yale, Duke, Harvard, Princeton, Dartmouth, Columbia, Howard, Spelman, Vanderbilt. What do these colleges and universities have in common? Students graduating from Lynn Public Schools have been accepted to them. We have an incredible wealth of young talent around this city. Just look at Krisneris Reynoso, a student at Lynn English who served as the student representative to the Lynn School Committee. I know she will be a great representative of Lynn when she enrolls in Duke University this fall. Or Sarah Sorois from Lynn Classical, who was one of 2 students from Massachusetts last year to be accepted at the U.S. Naval Academy. Or David Barrios, quarterback from Lynn Tech, who will be valedictorian of his class, participates in the Skills USA program, and he will be enrolling in Tufts University to study medicine and play football. Or Victoria Cheek, who is the class Victorian for the KIPP Academy and is attending Stanford University. Every student I meet with, from elementary schools to our high schools and technical schools, is an inspiration. We have 93 countries represented in our schools by students and their families, and 42 different languages spoken. Their stories are as diverse as our city. They give each student a unique perspective and drive to succeed. We want our students to look at their hometown as a place to come back to, not just to visit, but to build a life. I want our students to feel invested, excited, and optimistic about Lynn. These students are the next generation of community leaders. Our middle schoolers were in the top 3 in the state for First in Math National Program. Ingalls Elementary was recognized as the 2018 School of Excellence from Imagination, representing the highest distinction for its use of language and literacy programs. Our Skills USA students from Lynn Tech attended the National Skills USA Leadership Conference and brought home 7 gold medals and 1 silver medal. They have been recognized as the gold standard for community service and have been selected as one of the top 24 chapters of 30,000 chapters across the country as a national model of excellence. The English High School Junior ROTC drill team, which was here tonight, was great, has consistently excelled at competitions around the nation. They recently placed 5th overall at the 2018 All-Service National High School Drill Team Championship and brought home 7 individual medals. But most importantly, while continuing to compete at a high level, they are a constant presence at veterans and community events year after year. And the students at Classical High School exhibit a strong commitment to volunteer work with the classical community, as well as the Lynn community. The coach program is an excellent example of their compassion towards each other and celebrating each other's differences. I'd also like to highlight the work of the Interact Club at Classical, who in partnership with the Lynn Rotary Club regularly serves our most vulnerable populations. These are accomplishments we should all applaud and be proud of. And I know there are countless other successes at each and every school in the city. The education they are receiving here is preparing them not only to reach their goals, but to exceed them. Whether they are going into the workforce or the military, getting advanced technical training, or have decided to go to college, I want them to know that they can and will meet every challenge they face. I am proud of our students and what their leadership means for our city. We need to continue creating opportunities for investing in our schools. The teachers and faculty of the Lynn Public Schools go above and beyond to prepare their students for the next stage of life. They make the best of existing physical learning environment and classrooms, but I know that they and our students definitely deserve better. I am committed to investing in improvements to our school buildings so that every student has the right tools for a 21st century education at their fingertips. That commitment includes finding a way to build new schools that we as a community can be proud of. It is the spirit of the Lynn school community that shines brightly and overcomes all obstacles. We are strong because of our commitment to everyone who calls Lynn home. This year, we have worked to invest in public safety with the hiring of additional police officers, firefighters, and a new fire department chief, Steve Archer, a community leader raised in Lynn and a graduate of Lynn Tech, who has dedicated his life to protecting the people of our city. During our search for a new superintendent, we conducted a survey offered in 5 different languages, held a number of community meetings to obtain feedback from all stakeholders in the community, and that included online feedback that was really well received and was utilized by many of the citizens in the city. We asked for community input and were impressed with the issues that were brought up in those meetings, which in turn guided our interviews and decisions. This was a very open and interactive process which resulted in the hiring of Dr. Patrick Tutwiler, who is a forward-thinking, goal-oriented, and student-focused leader. I've also had the honor of appointing a diverse group of qualified candidates to city boards and commissions to breathe new life and ideas into our city and better reflect our community. People like Dan Richards, a small business owner born in Columbia, who is now serving on the Lynn Municipal Finance Corporation Board. Douglas Gillette, who has been an advocate for people with disabilities for many years, has been appointed to the Disability Commission. Richard Valentine, who has been involved with a number of youth programs in Lynn, fine young man, and was recently appointed to the Public Arts Commission. Son Wooten, an architect who's been heavily involved in our downtown cultural district and is now an associate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Jessica Jordan, an administrative professional who is part of the local art scene and was appointed to the Lynn Cultural Council. And Terry Krawitz, a project management and design professional, was recently appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals. They're just a cross-section of the many appointments and wonderful people that have stepped up to be part of this community and give back as members of boards and commissions. Ensuring that our city government is inclusive and the people of Lynn have a voice in the future is a top priority for me. In addition to increasing cultural diversity, I continue to seek out diversity of thoughts and opinions, particularly from our residents. That is why I have and will continue to encourage feedback on the vision for our city and all the initiatives I have highlighted tonight. I will continue to meet with community groups and leaders, business owners, and residents in every corner of the city to build consensus, encourage dialogue, and empower the people of Lynn in a positive way. I continue to be proud of Lynn, who we are, and where we are going. And I know that if we work together, our future is strong. In closing, I'd like to share a quote from President John F. Kennedy that rings as true today as it did during his time in office. This nation was founded by people of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all people are created equal, and that the rights of every person are diminished when the rights of one person are threatened. The heart of the question is whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated. The goal of a peaceful world is our guide for the present and our vision for the future. The quest is the greatest adventure of our century. We sometimes chafe at the burden of our obligations, the complexity of our decisions, the agony of our choices. But there is no comfort or security in evasion, no solution in abdications, no relief in irresponsibility. The problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by obvious realities. We need people who can dream of things that never were and ask, why not? The strength of our city is about all of us. When everyone's voice is heard, when we embrace our diversity and come together as a community, there is no limit to what our city can achieve. I believe in you, I believe in our future, and I believe in our city. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and thank you for listening. Thank you.
We're just busting them a little, Tommy. Thank you. This concludes our 2019 Mayor's State of the City Address.